to Good Morning Uganda Extra. Well, in case you've just joined, I'm Robert Chirabo, and this lovely morning show starts at 6:30. So make it a date with us every weekday, whether it's raining or whatever the weather is. We are here 6:30 to ensure that we kickstart your day with a lot of relevant information that you need to know. So please do not miss our intros full of a lot of funny jokes here and there, yet also we have a very full packaged meal full of information that you need locally and internationally. Now this morning I have the defense spokesperson, Brigadier General Felix Kulaije, with whom we are going to be looking at the current security situation of our country. We all know we are under terrorist alert. Over the weekend, police confirmed to us that a joint security team was able to recover 6 IEDs. Those are improvised explosive devices in various parts of the city. In Lunguja, we had those in Bunamwaya and more that were recovered. But don't forget that earlier on, the British government had also issued an advisory or a warning that anytime terrorists are targeting Uganda. Well, we also can't forget that during this process, from the time we had the 2 bombings, those that one that happened at Naila at Parliamentary Avenue and at Central Police Station, security forces have been able to make a number of arrests, but also recover a lot of these improvised explosive devices. Many of them, so there has been work in progress. And this time we want to thank the good Lord and of course the security personnel in our country that they were able to discover, avert what could have happened at, that is Rubaga Cathedral and other areas, the Mabitos of this world, those in Bunamwaya and everywhere. And I want to begin at this note. Afande Kulaije.
Yes, please.
Ugandans and the world are eager to know what the security situation is currently like for Uganda.
First of all, good morning.
Good morning to you.
And good morning, dear viewers. The current situation is the usual. Terror threats.
Hey.
Yes, it's not the first time.
Yeah, true.
First of all, I want to state on the word go, the country is safe and secure.
Okay.
The country is safe and secure.
Secure.
Now, the threats of terrorism have been with us for some time. And across the region, across the world.
That is right.
Thanks to God, thanks to our security agencies, because of our vigilance, because of the collaboration with the population, we have been able to avert the dangers, especially what would have happened on Sunday was going to be a countrywide mourning. Because they are targeted for you know Rubaga Miracle Cathedral, you know Bunamwaya. The other place in Natete is what?
Mabito.
Mabito. Chitasa Church, Catholic Church. Chitasa is in Ukoma Simbi, was also targeted. Now that's my home. So the first one I think was supposed to be in Fort Portal. Plus this one here in Rubaga. So the country was going to do wide mourning. However, because of the vigilance of the population, because this guy, you know, somebody was saying, oh, you know, you are carrying just a rucksack and then he just comes in when he knows he's going to be checked. No, he was not going to put this bag in the checking. And in the process, after all, you know, some people have been doing checking for the sake of it. And therefore, this is an awakening call, a wake-up call to be vigilant in our checking. Because terrorism exists, terrorism does not have a timetable. They choose their targets, and therefore we must make the targets difficult to acquire. And the only way of making it difficult is one, being alert, two, cooperating with security agencies. I want to thank some Mwananchi, an OB of mine, he has posted. He saw an abandoned bag at around Kavule last night at 10. And he called the Yakagaba bus of police. And he quickly responded. And fortunately, they discovered it was innocent. So, abandoned bags. The terrorists are using rucksacks and other bags that they can carry in, especially the light ones, like school bags. So this does not mean we only look at those. No. We should be interested in any package somebody is carrying. But that aside, this man was renting somewhere in Bunamwaya. You who has given him accommodation should have bothered to know who he is, where he's coming from, what he's keeping in the house. So, yes, the country is safe and secure, but the threats exist. Just like as a Christian, you know the devil exists and you must keep on the lookout to not to be tempted.
Well, Afande, you can tell Ugandans that the country is safe and secure amidst threats. But there is a worry now. Previously, we were looking at a terrorist in a vision of a foreigner. You know, there's a time when people would think, then we're looking at explosives that maybe are brought into the country. Now what makes the situation very complex is we are having Ugandans, people like us, with ability to make these explosives in this country. That a young man goes, buys a flask, buys a battery of a car, gets nails or bearings, then gets a food flask, then most of these have been able to read about, or Enanga, the police spokesperson, has been telling us, and some friends who are experts in this, show that these are made from things that are easily to access. Nails are everywhere.
Mr. Chireva,
so won't this make it a more complex situation and more need to worry now?
Mr. Chireva, you are forgetting. Idris Ansubuga, who detonated the bomb in Rogogo, is a Muganda, a Ugandan. He was my neighbor in Najanankumbi. So it's not the first time that Ugandans are involved. Number two, ADF is by and large a Ugandan terrorist organization that has now gotten foreigners from Pakistan, from Iraq, but otherwise it's a Ugandan outfit. Jamiru Mukuru is a Ugandan, although somebody was calling him a freedom fighter. But he's been the brains behind ADF for a long time until he was apprehended the other day. But he still gives the orders from prison.
Afande,
yes.
You're confirming that even in detention, Jamiru Mukuru, he's still extending his tenterhooks.
Look, no, it's not about tenterhooks. Terrorist organizations, check with the prison services, they will tell you. They communicate. They communicate through people. All right? Remember, they have their networks that they use here. The woman who was recruiting some of these children we showed you the other time was living in Jinja. Or this girl who was sent by her own father, actually taken by her own father, plus 3 of her brothers. Her own father. They are Ugandans. So the point I'm making is that we do not have, terrorism has no color. Terrorism has no tribe. Terrorism has no religion. Terrorism has no face. That's why constant vigilance, constant suspicion is a safety measure that we should take.
Now, when you're saying, you rightly point out Jamiru Mukuru, which points to ADF.
Yes. No, it is for sure ADF.
Government of Uganda has fought ADF for some time, including the victory of now having Jamiru Mukuru arrested. Recently went into the jungles of Congo,
Yes.
where our government and the taxpayers' money, millions are spent in hunting. What success are we making if we continue seeing these activities day by day? Because now, if I look at the time from when we had these bombs, CPS and around Parliamentary Avenue, almost every 2-3 weeks, we hear bombs, we hear telecells being busted, we hear so-and-so being arrested, explosives gotten, and this thing is seeming to be going to a greater magnitude.
The IRA, the Irish Republican Army, fought the British government for 91 years. How many years?
91 years.
That's how protracted terrorism is and how counterterrorism has to be indeed resilient and protracted to ensure the safety of the citizens. It's not about time, it's about the lives you save. You have talked about the money you spend in Congo. You remember we had 43 Ugandans that we showed you at the Ministry of Defense headquarters. Rescued, escaped, captured from the ADF. Now, the saving of one life alone is enough for the money you are spending. The fact that we rescued those Ugandans, young Ugandans, some very vulnerable, for us, we believe it's a money well spent. You see, money is a resource to be used to deliver a service. So if we can deliver security, now, I think for me, you would be proud that we are discovering these terror threats before they are executed.
Indeed we are.
Because prevention is better than cure.
Definitely.
Now, the conspiracy theories I am hearing around.
We shall just come to that also.
So the most important factor is that we are securing Ugandans as a power mandate, number one. Number two, we must make Ugandans not only be safe, but feel safe enough to invest whatever money they have in the economy. Four, on Friday, there was a bomb explosion in a mosque in Pakistan. In a mosque. At least this one was saying, go where there are non-Muslims. But in Pakistan, Muslim to Muslim. So that's why I said, terrorism has no religion. And let no one be hoodwinked that this is we are targeting Muslims and what have you.
How does it come that 90% of the people we arrest have Islamic names?
I think you should ask them.
I'm asking you.
Because they are the ones who are suspects. The individual we arrest are suspects. And that's why we have the conflicted, what's the word I want to use? Where you people in the media say, Muslims have been arrested. We don't arrest Muslims. We arrest suspects.
And the suspects you arrest end up being Muslims.
Well, so be it. Others have converted.
Okay.
These children we rescued from ADF, some were Christians. They were many of them, especially the Congolese. They had to convert to Islam by force. So, by coincidence, the person arrested has a Muslim name, and that does not make him the target because he's a Muslim. He's a target because he is a suspect of terrorism. So, check the the sequence of events. Ruwero. Those very devices you are talking about, wires, nails, name it, are the ones we found with this guy, with a bomb ready for deployment also. Chiboga, sometime this month. These ones had even SMGs. The massacre guy on Christmas Eve that was going to deploy in a church, we don't know which church at that time, but he was going to deploy in a church the following day. He had 7 AK-47s. So, this is not a police state where you have to keep everybody on tenterhooks. No, people are free to move. And hence, the appeal to the civilian population to be vigilant, to be on the lookout. Terrorism does not spare. Idris Ansubuga did not detonate that bomb in Ugogo, knowing his aunt was actually watching football. Sengawe, she died in that bomb. What we need to know is that you are the first line of defense as the civilian population. Your eyes, your ears. 2, work with the security agencies to serve you. So, cooperation with the security agencies is of paramount importance. 3, anything suspicious, just alert us. Like I mentioned, that person who saw on the roadside in Kavuli, at Kavuli. Similarly, be on the lookout. What is he carrying? Be trusted. Yes, checking is an inconvenience, but it's a necessary inconvenience for your safety. You need to be alive to make your money. You need to be alive to do your work. So, the first line of defense are your eyes, your ears, and you share with security agencies. On our part, we pledge to continue vigilance as well.
Now, Afande, you've rightly talked about how best we can fight terrorism. We need to work together, security agencies and the wananchi. But I want to bring in some conspiracy theories. Now, this is what is on ground in some communities. There is a belief, and I want to use that term they use, good you speak 7 languages. Mupanga bipange, munonya sente. You know, these are things that maybe, these are security games. Like many also have theories that what happened in America, remember the bombings, some say this was an inside job. These conspiracy theories may seem minor or very trivial, but they drive the effort of fighting terrorism.
No, they are not trivial. It means our people's mindset is still, what would I call it? Unpatriotic. Because when the British gave a travel advisory, you all panicked. I remember you invited me here.
Yes.
Because it's the British. Oh. Now, when your own government is actually discovering these bombs, you are saying chipangi. What a pity. Anyway, those who are saying it can do, if that's what they intend to do with their population, that's up to them. But a government that plays around with its own people, then that government has lost it all. And certainly not our government. Certainly not our government. I mean, we are losing our soldiers every other day in the fight against terrorism in Somalia, in the fight against terrorism in DRC. Why would we play around with the threat of terrorism when actually we are losing our citizens to terror threats? Or have we not seen bombs exploded elsewhere?
We have.
So the fact that here we are able to deter we should salute our government that we have deployed the necessary resources to guarantee security of the people. And if you are in a crowded place, the more reason you should be on the lookout. Who are you with? Have they been checked? I have seen Monitor quoting me halfway. I said we cannot guarantee security of crowds that are not working with security. That was cut off, and they have put that we can't guarantee security of those of the crowds, and then no, we need to work with you in managing the crowds for your safety.
For some of the crowds that are hardly manageable, aren't we going to see political conflicts again? For example, how do you protect a procession by the new principal who is having countrywide tours, a crowd that gathers? Aren't these bells ringing something else?
No, you see, again, that's what I was referring to in terms of collaboration or cooperation for crowd management. Crowd management, not control. You do your procession, but can the police get involved in planning for this procession? Should we not actually require police to be there for our own safety? Because as citizens, you are supposed to enjoy security.
See, there are some of the myths sometimes. It is at this time that I saw you issue a statement regarding attire.
Yes.
I said this was something, yes, you issued some time back. Why at this moment? This is the time Brigadier General Felix Kulaije then brings such a statement. Is this by coincidence?
No, it's not by coincidence.
Or are we...
They are increasing the numbers of people who are wearing the attire, with the gadgets and the peeps and even the colors. Not only is it red, that our noob friends, brothers and sisters are putting on. There are people who are putting on now madoa-doa. Again, Ugandans forget very easily. So, what's wrong with the reminder? Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, we have a responsibility to perform to this country. All right? You have seen robbers, some even in the actual military uniform. True or false? Even about a week ago, a captain, a retired captain, being a Muferi. So, when we see or observe an increasing trend, then we come out to caution. And if when the last thing we do is arrest, but we have cautioned you, and if you decide not to listen, then we have to enforce. They are gazetted clothes, you know them. And they are clothes anyway. What do you need? What do you want to? Why do you want to appear a soldier when you are not a soldier? If you want to join, but don't confuse our citizens. All right? You saw when we deployed the military police, what was on traffic? What was the intention? You would find somebody has put a portrait of the president on the number plate, and so there is no number plate. You read. How sure are you this is not a thief? And even the way they drive, somebody has put NRM on the number plate, and then he drives against all traffic regulations.
MK 2026.
26. These and the persons you are using, the president or MK, General MK, are law-abiding citizens. They are leaders in the country. It does not mean because if you support them, you should be against the law.
Privileges of proximity to power.
No. Actually, if you're a good supporter of the president, you should be the first to observe the law. because then you are promoting his image, right? And therefore you are earning him more credibility, and therefore his ratings should be going up. If I was the one, that's what I would do.
Now, coming back to this specific issue of fighting terrorism and where we are today, more so where you've rightly said that anybody, your neighbor, anybody closer to you can be a potential terrorist. Now, Afande, we had structures in this country that were very effective and they were able to curtail some of these things. Today, we see them a bit weakened and we don't see much of security forces ensuring that these structures are more empowered. Yes, police does some community policing. I stay in an area where we have UPDF, and I must credit Uganda People's Defense Forces. Allow me give a credit this time. Because in my area, if you're moving at night and you meet soldiers patrolling, rejoice you're safe and you go undisturbed. When you meet my brothers in Madoa blue or any other color, there could be issues. Either you will sleep at a police post sometimes for no reason, and leaving police will be hard if you don't pay something. But I think so I want to credit you people.
Thank you, but I think that's also individuals.
I want to tell you, Afande.
Yes.
It is more of the usual, and the public can say that. So, but previously, maybe you would have defense committees of the village do the patrolling. And because they knew the people and all that. But these structures now are being taken over. And maybe we are no longer valuing them. Health systems, for example. We are no longer valuing them that so much. And security is coming as low as where it used to have these people assist and carry out some of these things. You see, someone would come to the village, go to the chairperson. It was more of an offense and supported. Today, more of what LCs would do is now police doing. More of what communities would involve in the security of their members are now, no, we are safe. Police weri. How do we bring back that?
Again, mobilization. I believe when we meet, we interact with RDCs through some of these Mchaka trainings we are doing.
Do they still exist?
Even as we speak. Last Sunday I was in Chankwanzi talking to the teachers of secondary schools. Now, if you are going to schools to emphasize the importance of security, how how basic would you go if you have gone up to secondary schools, primary schools? However, I would like to agree with you. There is laxity among the LOCs. And maybe we seem to have, it's mine, we seem to have abated it through democratization. I don't understand. Because once we introduced elections, then maybe an LC chairperson would fear to be tough where need arises, because he's mindful of he's mindful of the votes. Maybe I'm not so sure, but again, this is a wake-up call to Ministry of Local Government and the Ministry of the Presidency, which deals with now the other DCs. But I think, by and large, other than the cases we tend to see that have slipped through, security committees of districts have done their part, by and large. And that's why you find the discos are very common in the countryside. The other day I was in Bukoma Nsimbi. I found, because of the coffee boom, every day, including Monday, there was a musician playing in Bukoma Nsimbi. Every day. Now that the coffee is done, people are borrowing in anticipation of the next season. This is what I found on the ground. But because people were so secure, they went about their music, never mind that they are not productive the following day because they didn't sleep at night. So it's true. Many structures have relaxed. Now, relaxation is because of the complacency that sets in because you have not seen anything spectacular. For instance, after the bomb at Parliament Avenue, checking of people was resumed. It has since died down.
True.
Please, let us not lower our guard. It is, we are living with the terrorists or terror suspects or potential suspects if we do not mind who we live with, who comes in our area. Edrisa Nsubuga and the brother was living in Nansana, Edrisa was living in Najana Nkumbi. They had lived with us. However, the LOC's defense secretary informed me after that they had noticed a change of behavior on Edrisa. That's when they would have told me. But this younger man is behaving different these days. Then I would pick interest. But I thought he was an innocent citizen, my neighbor, who, however, every morning I got out, he would come at the gate to greet me. And I thought this was a disciplined young man. He was actually observing my movements. And I was his first target. It's only that his bosses preferred a bigger crowd than an individual because of his title. So in other words, no one is innocent until you have confirmed that yes, this one is an innocent citizen, but be interested. In the US, they call it the neighborhood watch. Look out. So why do we think those societies that have had states long before us know it? And please, again, I want to say, before you go into conspiracy theories, make sure you are safe. Make sure you are secure. Then you can conspire, you can accuse us of what. However, you have ensured that we have information of anything suspicious.
Now, Afande, rightly you said this is something that must be ongoing.
Yes.
And you assured Ugandans that they are safe despite these threats.
Of course, they are secure.
But we seem to be seeing an increase, not a decrease. I don't know, the people in defense, when we look at sequences, how often, when we had the World Cup bombings, it took us maybe relatively some time. Now, recovery after recovery. CPS, then Parliamentary Avenue. From then, I don't know how many you've been able to foil before it happens.
Many.
Why are we seeing this on an increase?
Following factors. One, the pressure in DRC against ADF makes them increase activity internally to divert us. And indeed, the attack on Ntoroko was intended to, they thought we didn't have forces behind. You saw, although the attack of Rubiriha has a mixture.
That one is confusing. Today, it is there was a woman concerned. Tomorrow, it was a business rank of a school. The other time,
well, we as security, we know it is a rank over a school, over the school. And what would I call it? Treating others unfair, because this was a community school, and eventually somebody personalized it. That's for us, that's what we know. The business issues and what have you, I don't know. The human issues, maybe. I've not been briefed. But the increasing, so that's factor number one, to divert us from the pressure in DRC. Because DRC was their safe haven. DRC was their resource envelope. Budget support, if you want to call it. But two, there is another angle now of internationalization more than what we knew. The ISL is operating in the Sahel region. Through Chad, Central Africa, DRC, all the way to Mozambique. So you can see even terrorism has expanded its areas, if for lack of a better word, or its span of operation. And so they must make themselves known, because the main objective of terrorism are basically two: publicity and scare. And then the three, which comes from scare, loss of faith in government. Because you are scared, you think government is not safeguarding you, and therefore you find no reason why you should have this government. Those are their main objectives, three of them. So now that you are disturbing where they had a safe haven, where they were getting resources from agriculture, from mines, then what do? They come home. You remember Al-Shabaab came here because we were in Somalia, and they thought we could withdraw. Instead, they invited us to chase them from Mogadishu. I want to assure Ugandans, this increment is not because of anything else, but actually vigilance of security. Because the fact that we are finding these explosives before they are deployed, or bomb-making devices or materials, is because of the vigilance.
But then, Afande, we seem to be winning battles, not the war.
If you want to think you will win the war on terror, you are daydreaming. Like I've told you, you can only deter a terror attack. You cannot completely eliminate terrorism until people get born again, if you want to say. I mean, Pakistan has been at it for how long? USA has been at it for how long? Oh, why don't you ask, for example, the increasing gun violence in the United States? Even on Sunday there was one. Almost every other day. So the point is, there is increasing numbers of terror suspects because we have an increasing population. We have a number of people who are unemployed, and therefore vulnerable to hoodwinking. Like some of the people we brought in Imbuya, they had been promised jobs. And what happens? In Bachindi, where you stay, a family disappeared. A whole family disappeared, and nobody can trace them. It turns out they have gone to the jungles. They sold their businesses. So terrorists have upped their game because of the vulnerable population they're exploiting. Number two, those that are planting the extremist ideology, the preachers of this ideology, are on the increase. And so it's important that we do not look at the symptoms, but rather where does it come from. So we need to deconflict the minds of the young people. And therefore, the solution is not about cracking. The solution lies with education. We crack where it is about to be deployed or to happen, but we continuously tell the public about the dangers of terrorism and how it can be avoided.
Now, this brings me to another question, Afande. We know in security, intelligence is something very important to prevent. Now, when we look at these stories of the ADF, when you look at these stories of the young people that are being recruited, we look at these young people that come in communities, they rent houses, then they are able to fetch these amounts. I remember there's one I was able to cover, one suspected terrorist. And when they opened this single room, Abuganga, Wigali, those small bearings, they're almost sacks.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
For nails I could excuse. Then these other chemicals they had, and someone told me that these are not even easy to purchase. So, if we can't win the war, but we can defeat them at battles, why is the intelligence when young children, there's a time we saw clips, I'm so and so, son of so and so, as I'm going in this battle, Allah, whatever, help me so that I can win this battle. Now, the question here is, with our intelligence system, how do these children, which families do they come from, leave this country, cross our borders? We have intelligence, we have men and women in uniform, paid for this job, they are not aware. How does someone come and, we're wondering, very young boys, they were not born in DRC, you know, they were taken from, where is our intelligence network?
Are we not free to move in this country?
We are.
Very good. Now, the only way you can deter these children being taken is again the vigilance of the population. My neighbor disappeared with his son. For example, my neighbor disappeared with his son. Pick interest. Many of these young people, like I've told you, have been promised jobs. People move across borders for opportunities. Right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, as turns out, these were deceived about the opportunities. They were being recruited in rebellion. Therefore, it is important that, as you rightly observe, the increasing cases actually are a testimony of the vigilance of intelligence. The fact that we have been able to deter, it means our intelligence is working. Because I can assure you, take for example, one of the neighboring countries where terrorists occupied a shopping mall for 4 days.
Westgate?
Yes. Armed with AK-47.
Yes.
Where will they pass with these guns?
And I'm told these guys rented even a store on Westgate, spent some time doing business there.
Absolutely.
Mastered the plan of the building and the escape routes.
So that's why I've told you that you cannot talk of defeating the war, but winning battles. And winning battles is about vigilance. Winning battles for terrorism is about deterrence. It's not about fighting the terrorist himself. It's deterring the terrorist from achieving his goal. 3, the population must never, it doesn't matter which government you want, but you must never sit on a security information. Even the law requires us to report, leave alone your responsibility as a citizen. The law requires us to report. But now I'm not going to the law. I am appealing to the population. I'm appealing to you in the media. These messages, we do not have to wait for payment. We must be all out because we know the solution lies in awareness. Last night I was trotting almost over the city. I was on a radio station, I was on a TV, I was on which other one? Because I covered 2 TVs and 1 radio station. All about awareness. I'm here in the evening, I'll be on another one. Reason, awareness. Because I know we have been able to safeguard this country, and we are continuing because of cooperation, collaboration, coordination.
Well, I must thank you, Afande, for your time, and also at such a critical time when we need so much information from the public. But as I let you go, what is your parting shot to our viewers, to Ugandans who have been watching us this morning?
First of all, some people have been asking me, are you going to close the city? Shut down the city? Never. The terrorist will have achieved what he wants. Panic. So, be assured, the country is safe, the country is secure. We need, however, your vigilance. We need your cooperation. Anything suspicious, bags, boxes, somebody you are suspicious of, report. He may even be a son or a daughter of your brother. A terrorist has no, like I say, has no relations. Their brothers are now with the fellow terrorists. Because somebody may say, how will it be seen? I've reported my brother. Please, 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 report anybody suspicious, report anybody holding something suspicious. It does not mean, what is the word? We should not have a phobia.
Yes.
Where we may end up victimizing innocent people. Yes, if somebody is suspicious, should be suspicious and report it. Or because you have an issue, this is a business rival, and therefore you want to finish him off and you accuse him of terrorism. Because then you have killed the entire reason why we depend on you for information. Your ears, our eyes, foundation security depends on the civilians. It's not only preserve of the security agencies.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Brigadier General Felix Kulaije, for your time, and of course, our viewers. Thank you so much for being with us from the hour of 6:30 for Good Morning Uganda and Good Morning Uganda Extra, which is an extension. We really appreciate. Let's all join together in the fight against terrorism. Well, anyone, your neighbor, or anybody can be a potential terrorist. So let's all be very cautious, and above all, in case of anything, please report to the authorities. And so far we've seen quick response. Have a lovely day. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Good morning.
A new dawn on Behind the Headlines with me, Timothy Nyangweso. Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala, we have conversations that have analysis, explanation, but not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster. 10 p.m. on your public
UBC, inspiring Uganda. Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by
MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial star 165 star 3 hash or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Did Did you know that our number one value as a nation is to respect and protect the environment? With the current population increase of Uganda and industrialization, this has increased pressure on the natural resources, resulting into environmental degradation and global warming. Developing countries like Uganda could face 80% of the global climate change effects by the year 2030 if no action is taken. Join us here on UBC TV Inspiring Uganda on our Eco Plus program, where we bring you an in-depth analysis of issues that are disastrous to our environment every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. only on your loved station, the National Broadcaster.
Coming soon on UBC. Coming soon on UBC.
A new dawn on Behind the Headlines with me, Timothy Nyangweso. Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala, we have conversations that have analysis, explanation, but not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth. Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Broadcaster, UBC, Inspiring Uganda.
On UBC. This week on UBC. Buli munya-Uganda nayetenga amakuru marungi. UBC West eyina amakuru marungi kandi agali kwesigwa. Leero za program zaayo ziri omu Runyakitara hamwe n'Orufumbira. UBC West eyina tekinologiya ey'omulembe eri kugibaasisa kuhika omu bicweka byona omu ihanga nangu n'aheeru y'eihanga. Tukwatire aha frequencies ezo: Kisoro 97.7 Fama, Kabale 93.7 Fama, Hoima 99.1 Fama, Kampala 105.7 Fama, Mbarara 97.4 Fama, Footpoto 98.8 Fama, Masindi 5 Fama. Kurikiriza UBC West ohurire imbaganiza. UBC West empika huna.
In this family, we can't agree on anything. Martha. We can't even agree on what to watch. All the games to play. Martha. Ndowoza Mulabi, we can't even agree on what to eat. At least the one thing for now we can all agree on is the soap to use. He likes that it's big and lasts long. Anti-economy. I like that it keeps my skin smooth. Ate alina echovu. And the children like that. It smells amazing. Everyone is happy. Movit soap comes in 4 fantastic flavors. Movit family soap is truly soap for the whole family.
Movit. All day confidence.
Here is the 2023 musical launch of the year. 16th of September 2023, Kololo Ceremonial Grounds will be the only place to be, as the whole of Uganda will gather to witness the Museveni Awoma musical launch by Eman Sereko, also known as Munamasaka. Don't miss miss all your artists, comedians, stage and movie actors, members of parliament, ministers, leaders at different levels, led by the Right Honorable Premier Robin Nabanja. The chief guest of the day will be the one and only Sabalwanyi Jajamwami, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. All at a free entry at Kololo Ceremonial Grounds on the 16th of September 2023. Do not miss.